The video lecture is all about making schools inclusive. So we will tackling again about the word inclusive. It is inclusion, or it is like including or involving, which is a responsibility of a school and a society as well, like what is stated in the video lecture. So inclusive education or inclusion could not be possible without the help of stakeholders. Stakeholders includes teachers, school staffs, and other workers. So what can they do? What can stakeholders do to create inclusion? So first is to set the parameter for inclusion. In this, there are some factors leading to success of inclusive education, and one is teacher training and compensation. The second is build key people. From the word itself, it is like building key people. The one called key people in here are the teachers. They are encouraged to go through trainings or programs. And not just the teachers, but also to the learners or to the students, which are the main priority of education. And last is to identify and eradicate barriers. In this, it will now enter the identification of problems or barriers to inclusion and the removal of it. There are common barriers for inclusive education. One is the attitude, misconception, value system, and societal norms. It is true, yes. Definitely true, because we all know we differ in our beliefs, we differ in our views on things, we differ on our perceptions. May some agree to inclusion and some may not. So that could be really a problem. Next is physical barriers. Physical barriers are talking about the physical problems. Maybe in the environment, like lack of building, lack of facilities, and more. Third is curriculum. Because we know some curriculums are like one is for all. As it is stated in the video lecture by Ma'am, one one for all type of curriculum is not suited to a inclusive education, because the nature of inclusive education is like learners or students will definitely vary on their needs on learning. Next, or the fourth one, is the lack of teacher training or low teacher efficacy. It is, or this could be a really barrier or a problem to inclusion. Because we know teachers are the one who will going to manage such a classroom. And without a training or without undergoing a program, there is no possibility that the implementation could be effective. Next is the poor language communication. Definitely true, because we all know for a success we need to communicate to have collaboration or cooperation. And communication is the key to every success. Next is the lack on fundings. Lack on fundings is interrelated to the other barriers, to the previous barriers. If you lack on funds, you will definitely lack on buildings, lack on facilities. And also, if you lack on funds, there might be a possibility that you will, or your teachers may not have their trainings or programs, which is really needed for them to adapt what is needed in a inclusive education. Trainings is needed for the implementation of inclusion to be effective. Next is the lack on policies. And lastly is the too much focus on the standard on the performance-based standards. As what I have mentioned a while, the nature of inclusive education is that learners or students will really vary on their disabilities, vary on their abilities, and they might have difficulties or struggles on it. That's all.